Please welcome Sprint Vice President of IT Applications and Operations, John Felton.
Well, thank you for coming out today. Thank you, John. Thank you, Red Hat, for inviting Sprint and myself here today. When I showed up this morning, they were talking about 70-some plus countries that are actually represented here. I'm from Kansas, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I guess we'd be country 71, and no, we're not all farmers, promise. So with that said, one of the things that we are actually going forward with is that we're trying to roll out our new technology and bringing three groups of individuals together. Those individuals that we're trying to bring together is our IT organization, our network organization, and our product development teams. We do that because IT as a whole, my operations team has had virtualization for a long time. We've run Rail for a long time. All our systems are x86. We're over 85% virtualized today. We believe it's a very cost-effective and a way that we can stabilize a lot of what we do, and it's highly available. That is something that we have done since the beginning. And what we're finding is that now marries up with this idea of NFV. So what we have is now we sit there and talk about the other development teams, our vendors, and everybody that wants to come and show that their products are better. They talk about cloud as a generic form of go out and do. What happens at our organization is when you get out there, they find out that it's not quite the same as the offerings that we have internally. So what we're trying to provide with our development team is easy access, making sure that they don't feel like the option first is an external vendor. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we're trying to make sure that what we do is controlled for all the regulations and the things that we have to perform. They don't think through that a lot of times as a development organization as how quick can I get it spun up? How many hours does it take me to get it done? And when will I be done? So by us being more agile and try to make sure that we can match what they're doing, we're basically being able to do that. That self-service platform is very difficult to prove and do. We've shown several times that having something like that keeps the development team wanting to be engaged. That doesn't look at us as like the old legacy infrastructure that they have to go to get anything done. And I'll ask all of you later if you could help me with this horrible word called standardization that no one wants to have. Nobody wants those words in their environment because it sounds like I'm boxing you or making it too difficult for you to be engaged with. So we're trying to break all those boxes down and to be able to perform to all of those teams individually across our entire infrastructure and our entire organizations. The last one is that when we sit there and talk about NFV, NFV is the future of what we will be doing as an organization and as a telco. It's taking legacy applications, legacy gear that gets dropped off by the vendor that is plugged into our network streams, and our network organization runs those, and they seem to be what they believe as the most efficient way to perform their business. What we as IT are trying to do is show them that not only can we make that work for you, we can virtualize it, we can push it to any form of the data centers that we have or any of our wireless data centers that you need and make it on demand and make it available all the way across. We use OpenStack to do that. We've already getting ready to deploy over 30 locations already. It's something that we've learned how to do, and we're basically earning our, network brethren's confidence that we can do it effectively and efficiently. We've made our first voice over our LTE calls. We've had those devices in play, and we're actually taking that technology that we were going to deploy in less than a year and a half out back to about 6 months from now. We did that all because of the capabilities of what Red Hat delivered, our virtualization capabilities with IT, and the ability for us to move forward. The automation is absolutely the most critical part, and that's where everybody has to take your hands off of the keyboards or off of what we want to do and let that be automated and move within the network as it's needed. So if I have a big boost of like last night when we were here in the Celtics one, if I needed to make sure that there was more service at that stadium, we could move content, we could move actual resources to that using the NFV infrastructure, which is not capable to be done with our legacy equipment today. So we can move and burst in the locations that we need to, and that's the innovation that we absolutely have to have. Finally, I'd leave you with this, is that when you're doing these things with your salespeople, although I love them to death and mine is right there, they're not the only ones you need. Get behind that guy or that person, and make sure that you're bringing in all the technical resources there. Red Hat has an unbelievable amount of resources that you need to leverage to make this happen, because we are learning as we're going, and for anybody that says they have the, I guess the ring that tells you exactly how to do it, I don't think that's exactly true. You need to make sure that you're getting that done and in a way that allows everybody to benefit. So I guess the benefits that we're looking at, and I think I've kind of covered some of these already, is that what we hope to be able to do is give a culture to our technical teams that don't put you in stovepipes like they are today. I think I started this conversation with IT runs back-end infrastructure. That's what my team does. There's a peer of mine that runs the big network, and that's what they do. Then I have two other peers that run the development organizations. And today, we have a lot of handoffs in between. Some of those are clean, some of those are not clean. But what we think that will happen with the NV infrastructure is put everything in one stack and challenge that developer or that operational person to know more about what's going on. It will be not an ability for us in the future to be able to own one piece of that stack. As we roll out NV, you got to understand the whole intricate layers. You have to be able to take everything as software and assume everything as software. Deploy all our code that way, deploy all our capabilities that way, and make sure that what we do going forward is not managed the way our legacy environments are. We package and distribute. Everything has to be approved for stability. I can't tell you how many times I run into problems where an individual will say, if I just do it myself, it'll be perfect. And when we go and pull that code, we take down the entire East Coast of all our retail stores. When you're putting in a piece of code that's 27 characters long, people make mistakes. For us to go in and automate it and to make it consistent and make it something that they trust that will be done, that I can deploy. I think we were talking earlier at lunch that you could actually do an deployment at noon. How many in here would feel comfortable with that? You know, we are in the comfortable, you got to do it at midnight or you have to do it in the windows. It'd be great to be able to get there. The integration and the automation that we have across all the stacks that Red Hat has delivered for us has been critical at making us successful. We believe that that's something that we're going to be able to do going forward. The cloud forms and the automation platform, the skills that Red Hat brings. We are learning as we're going, and it doesn't mean that we don't have good technical folks that know a lot about what we're doing. But when you have that ability to go to the vendor and have them actually show up with something that's not trying just to sell you something, but actually trying to enable what you're doing and learn from the infrastructure you have, that's what Red Hat has been bringing to the table. That's what I want when I make that phone call at 11 o'clock at night, not getting that first tier support and wondering if they're going to even know who I am. We've been able to put an entire team behind us that now not only knows the infrastructure, was a part of us as we did the rollout. They were a part of making sure that what we did and what we've done, they know, they understand, and then they can help us along the way. We believe that, knowledgeable across all the platforms that you have to have, as I said earlier, is making sure that whatever we're doing, however we're packaging it, that all the individuals in the stack know every component. That will be the only way NV will be successful for us. If we do it just the old network legacy way, then we'll miss a piece. If we do it just an IT operation way, then we're only taking care of the low-end piece, which is not what we want. So at the end of the day, we think that we have a great solution. We believe that we're on our way. We're going to be able to do things that the network has always wanted to be able to do, that bursting into this location right here. When I be able to come in and move content, move deliverables, and make it look like you can go anywhere. The thing that I notice all the time, you'll know all the time, is that phone's the only thing you're always looking for because it has all the information and everything on it. So if you think about that for a second, we have 56 million people that do that. 56 million different ways for them to configure it. 56 million ways for them to say that I caused them a problem, for them to make a critical phone call or talk to their niece or talk to somebody in the hospital. That's something that we're always trying to enable, always trying to do. And I believe that with this solution that we've outlined today, with this marriage of IT, network, and development teams, and our product teams, and with the background and the support of Red Hat, we will be successful. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for being here, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
All right.